The chiptune scene has been around for about 10 years. It started when two different software developers developed software for the Game Boy. One was called Little Sound DJ and the other was called Nano Loop. And what they did is they turned the Game Boy into a device where you could write music that makes the bleeps and bloops that people associate with video games from the 80s. And people started composing music with it. And ever since then, it's taken its time to kind of move into the forefront, but it's really gaining a lot of momentum lately. Most people consider me to be a VJ, but lately I have been interested in video game culture and where it sort of intersects with art and hacker culture. So I've been moving into programming art events based on the culture, technology, and aesthetic of video games. When I started, it was quite literally a couple of boxes of videotapes, several VCRs and a video mixer, and I would mix live in real time. I would mix everything together that way. And then as digital technology sort of became more and more prevalent and available, I traded VCRs for laptops using various VJ software and actually used the mixer still, very much like a DJ would mix, but instead of using two turntables and a mixer, I was using two laptops and a mixer to mix video. Specifically with 8-bit and chiptunes and why it's so popular these days, I think that it's both nostalgic and something new for the newer generation, and I think it's bridging the gap a little bit because a lot of the independent game developers that are making games now are people around my age who grew up with the technology who are making games in 8-bit. The reason I think it bridges the gap is because the technology is sort of widely accessible. Anybody can go to like a thrift store or a flea market or something and find an old Game Boy and find an old Atari. The resources online to hack these things are everywhere. I think that VJing and even chiptunes, I mean, both of them as art forms are pretty young. So not only do I want to see more of it, I know I'll see more of it. Chiptune and VJ culture are the kinds of things that will eventually, I think, end up being as popular as mainstream DJ culture. It's just a matter of time. Think about how long it took film to find its legs. I mean, you know, the film as a medium was born at the turn of the last century, and it really wasn't until 40 years after the birth of it that it really started to sort of find its legs and grow. And I think that we're going to see that specifically with all sorts of new media culture. Independent game development is a really big one right now that I'm really into and I'm really enthusiastic about. But yeah, I think that the one thing that people need to get over are the stereotypes associated with gaming and gaming culture, especially at this point. I think I know more people who have Xboxes or Wiis than they do cable, actually.